Thank you, good morning. So, I'm Vincent, I'm one of the co-founder of erable, and today I'm going to talk to you about agile products. What does that mean, actually? All right, working well. So as you know, I'm French, so I'm going to use some statistics from France because I do believe localizing statistics is quite easy to then be able to explain a topic. So as we all know, we need a lot more fundings towards transition, whether it's social transition, environmental transition. We know we need more funding. Also, we know people are willing to invest in projects that are aiming to solve real-world issues. We know that for sure. In France, for instance, more than 75% of people are actually saying, I want to invest in something that has an environmental impact. So why don't they put their money where their mouth is? That's a good question. Our belief is that savings products, as of today, are not the right fit, on the one hand, on how to invest in cool projects, and on the other hand, for an investor to be able to invest in something which is agile because people don't understand equity. They understand that a bit, but equity, they don't. They need to find out new types of products. So yeah, maybe I'm gonna do that on the screen directly. Yeah, cool. So, you know, only in France, we need 66 billion more in annual investments. And as I said earlier, actually, I didn't say it, but it was on the slide, we have 6,000 billion in savings only in France. So for a first world country like France, we have a lot of money. People have a lot of money in the bank, but they don't invest, actually. And that's the big issue we're trying to tackle. For that, we do believe in revenue sharing models. So actually, you invest in a company and you get a share of the revenues that they're making. So in the music industry, you know, the royalties. It's the same thing, actually. So you direct your money towards a project or an asset, and you get a share of the revenues out of it. For an investor side, it's more liquid because you have liquidity each and every 3 months based on the revenues generated. You have transparency because it's clearer how the value is distributed among the stakeholders, and also you have a direct alignment with the project holders because you're basically investing in it, and if you help them get more revenues, for instance, so if you turn into an ambassador, actually you get your cut out of it. So revenue sharing models are quite well known in the US, a bit less in EU, and we're trying to really make them known in Europe. On the impact project side, what's really interesting is that most of the impact projects are really lacking fundings, and with actually with royalty-based crowdfunding, they're able to have something which is, again, agile because it's flexible. The reimbursements are based on the percentage of the revenues. So if I don't do any revenue for any reasons whatsoever, I'm not obligated to actually reimburse. This management is quite easy. We have a platform. You can manage all the legal life cycle out of it, and it's non-dilutive, so no equity, basically. It's a percentage of the revenues, so you can preserve your governance. We do that for projects, and we also, because we do believe to really be able to scale impact models, and especially in the circular economy. So for instance, for food containers, so you go to restaurants, you don't want to have any disposable containers, you want to have something which is reusable. What we did is we found a fleet of actual containers, and containers, there's a loop in the system. If they does a loop, you get a percentage of the revenues generated by the containers. The basic idea behind that is to say, if we want to change habits, we need to let people be able to consume in a way we decide it's better. So if we decide to consume in reusable containers, people need to be able to access reusable containers. So we need to be able to invest in fleets, and whether the service is done by another company, which is a private one, that's no problem actually, but we need to be able to have a fleet of reusable containers at the scale of a region, of a land, whatever. We did that for Pixel. We did that also a lot with French institutions to see how we could have new models to be able to fund at an ecosystemic level circular economy companies. That was a really cool one, actually. Some of our numbers, so we have 12K investors. We are mainly Web 2. We have a platform on Web 2 which is doing revenue sharing agreements. We have some tokenized ones too. And here you have some of the projects. I know you have Sunshine Chocolate here, which is solar roasters, cocoa roasters. You might have some on your plate at the moment. Because I said, sorry, I'm French, so we have a lot of French partners on the incubator, accelerator side. So we have more than 50 partners in France. We have 60 to 70 projects a month knocking on our door, trying to onboard 5 to 6 of them. We've been acknowledged in several French institutions, mainly in the financial industry, and we have a lot of partners and banks because it's important for an early stage project to have a mix of financing, which is with banks, with new types of actors like us, but also with banks. Yeah, Sunshine Chocolate, which was a pretty cool one, 250K. And the whole idea is we funded industrial solar cocoa roasters that made your chocolate on your table. So what about Web3? I think we did some first tokenization programs on revenue sharing agreements. What we really want to push forward is this idea of ecosystemic investment. As of now, what we want to do is to be able to have a revenue sharing agreement protocol, quite a simple one on-chain, because it's working well in Web 2. More and more companies on Web 3 are willing to have the legal platform to make it happen for Web 3 communities too. We want to find the right protocol to build on top, and afterwards we want to scale revenue sharing agreements by going more and more into markets, actually, and not crowdfunding, because crowdfunding is great, but it has its limits. The whole idea is how do we scale that, and I think the tech is the good one to do that. Thank you.